Hey guys, and welcome to a cast of Salt 36, Wet Hot Australian Summer Edition. My name is Benjamin. To my left, or my right, depending on who flips the video, I have Ryan and Carl.
Hi.
How's it going? It is so hot today.
So on a scale of wet, hot, or sweaty, which three are you?
Why not all three?
It's not really that hot. It's just
Dank.
Really
No,
humid.
legitimately,
really humid.
Legitimately, the adjective for the weather we're having right now is dank. There is
no other word.
But
that
there
can
is-
describe.
dank in the original sense, not in the...
not in the, like, you know, you look outside and there's a cloud with just like this huge doogie. Just,
Moving right along.
Moving right along. What have you been up
have
to,
you ever
Ben?
been high like a cloud? Now it has two meanings.
What have you been up to, Ben?
All right,
This last couple of weeks.
so I've been playing Slay the Spire a lot lately.
You sure have.
I finished both characters now, which is pretty good. So I have...
So remind me, Slay the Spire is the new card game.
Okay, so Slay the Spire is basically roll the dice on the table to make Ben's favorite game. So it's,
Yeah.
it's a roguelike card building role-playing game
Cool.
where you progress through randomly generated levels, collect randomly generated cards.
See,
from
I'm
a
just
mod.
imagining what must have been going through your head when you first saw that this game was like a thing that you could download and
Yeah,
purchase.
I was
it's,
like-
it's sort of like, okay, so it's a roguelike,
Cool.
but it's also a card game,
Dope.
and it's also a dungeon runner.
Interesting.
And he's just like, but I like all of those things.
You were on the chat where Reverend Jack was just like, what are you playing, Ben? And I'm like, well, think of, like, make me an arbitrarily game. Just, like, pick three genres, make a game out of that. And he got 3 for 3. He was like, that is literally what you're playing. And I'm like, yep. He's like, wow, you must be
Must
Pretty
be pretty
happy
happy with
Pretty
that.
happy with yourself.
yeah, so I've got like maybe 5 achievements left I need to get in that game, so it's not too bad. Been slamming out a bit of Dead Cells as well.
Now, just so we're clear, it's an early access game.
Yep.
It's got 2 characters at the moment.
Yep.
Where are they going from here with it? What are they going to expand on?
All right, so there's an additional character slot available. They're probably going to add an additional level.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be ports coming to the mobile and Switch platforms, and they're just adding more cards as time goes on.
Okay.
So it's pretty good, and more artifacts. So
I'm not sure how I feel about just adding more cards to a game like that, because I've played it a little on your account, and just adding a single card, like how different would that make any given run? Because you don't necessarily see all the cards for a specific character during one run,
and
right?
the rarity pool will get extended, yes, which is a bit of an interesting one.
Mm.
On the flip side, I'm sure they'll put in sliders for like, here.
Just power level max.
Yeah, just like variance max. Or do you go for the mediocre but adequate?
Or do you go for how the developers actually intended the game to be played?
Yeah, which is blindfolded and with chopsticks.
Sure, we'll go with that.
It's really hard to do mouse dragging with chopsticks, trust me.
You say that, and I'm just picturing the next Nintendo console is going to have like a chopstick control. It's like
Use 2 Joy-Cons as chopsticks.
No, that's like I'm imagining like a 1-2
I?
switch. Get your 2 chopsticks and you got to eat as many.
They're trying
as
to
possible.
they're trying to tap into the latent China market. Yeah, I
Oh,
went
dear.
there. Otherwise, I've been binge watching, and in the legitimate version of binge watching, just not the Netflix bingeable TV shows. As in, I have a mat on my floor, which I turned into a bed, and then I've been laying on that and staring at my TV by watching things, cradling a bottle of wine. So I watched Black Lightning.
How do you stay awake if you are literally in bed whilst watching TV? I feel like that would send me to sleep.
Practice.
Okay.
Yeah, you're in bed, you're drunk, and you're watching TV. Now, it helps that it's like between 2 p.m. and like 12 a.m.
It's really, really narrowing it down.
Yeah. Well, that's the definition of binge watching, is it not?
Yeah.
Have you watched an entire season of 24 yet?
No, God, no. I am getting close. Anyway, so I watched the first episode of Black Lightning, the brand new Netflix and DC TV show, which is kind of like DC watched Luke Cage and was like, yo.
Can we have that?
We want a street-level, relatable black hero that deals with black problems. So, naturally, I enjoyed it greatly.
Fair enough.
It was pretty good. Black Lightning is an incredibly lame concept for a superhero.
Is it new or is it an established character?
Established character.
Okay.
So
why is it lame? What's the concept?
All right.
You got to remember.
So
we are not comics people.
Okay, so I'm gonna pitch a character to you.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm not. Okay. I'm not sure I'm the kind of guy that receives comic pitches, but
You are now.
I am now. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
So he's of African descent, right?
Sure.
And he has lightning-based powers.
Okay.
I'm gonna call him Black Lightning.
Now, this is the part where you...
What?
This is the part where you get your cigar and you're like, I don't know. Take it back to the drawing board. 6 more weeks.
It's like it's two ways. There's two ways that people could react to that. They could just be, well, what I just did, face in palms, or they could be like, that's perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Print it.
Well, legitimately, Black Lightning was the first black superhero with his own run of comics that lasted a little while. So that's pretty cool. The actual premise of the show is Black Lightning retired like 9 years ago and has been a principal at a school trying to encourage the local community to not be thugs. And you're like,
That actually sounds like a good premise.
Yeah.
I mean, like superhero concept aside, that actually sounds like a decent setup for a show.
yeah. And then so things are escalating in the local town with the police and the local gangs. One of his daughters gets in. I'm going to completely spoil the first episode, by the way, guys. So
Skip ahead 5 minutes.
yeah, like skip ahead a little bit to see if I care. It's fine. Like you can see it all coming a mile away in the first episode, but it was an enjoyable ride, which is the important thing. So that happens. One of his daughters get involved in a local gang. Coincidentally, both of his daughters get kidnapped. He's like, fuck it. Where's my super suit?
That's an Incredibles reference.
And then
He threw that one in there just for you, Ryan.
Thanks.
and then fights crime. So
They fight crime. The end.
yeah, I was like, that's the start. That's the first episode, which I try to gloss over as much as I can.
something. Oh, God, got to get back out of retirement.
Something. Yeah, dope hip hop soundtrack. You know, that's the way it is. So that's not too bad. New Batman animated came out recently, Gotham by Gaslight, which is Batman versus Jack the Ripper.
Jack
Cool.
the Ripper.
Yes,
As in
that one.
Okay.
The
Now hang on. Is it a DC character based off Jack the Ripper,
No.
or is it meant to actually be Jack the Ripper from whatever era of England it was?
yes, it's Jack the Ripper.
Who's kept himself alive through a combination of Nazi technology
No.
And vampire blood magic.
Yeah.
No, it's set in Victorian era.
and... Okay.
So what the hell's Blackman doing there?
Black
Blackman. I'm Blackman. I am the sausage.
God damn it! I was hoping you guys wouldn't
Paul
notice.
Blart. Paul Blart, Blackman.
Okay, so what the hell is Blackman doing there?
So Blackman. No, it's basically Blackman set in Victorian era.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Catwoman's a suffragette, so that's nice.
Does Batman...
I'm Blackman.
I am the blight. Wait a minute.
Cool.
Yeah, so I like it. You don't. It actually has a proper twist in it that I was like, oh.
Don't spoil them on this as well.
No, this one's new enough that I'm not going to.
Okay,
That other
good.
one was first episode stuff, so. Yeah, dope. Mike Magnolia, which you know from Hellboy.
I don't, but
He's the
okay.
guy who made-
People who care about this stuff will know from
He's the
whatever you
guy
just said.
who drawed pen and wrote Hellboy.
Okay,
Worked
cool.
on this, like the initial one. So that was pretty cool.
Did he also hire Ron Perlman?
No.
Okay.
I thought Ron Perlman is. I'm not sure how I feel about Ron Perlman not being Hellboy in the new release that's coming out. I'm still torn on that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. He's always been Hellboy right here, right in my heart where it counts.
Sure.
Yeah, so as you can see, yesterday was a real binge because I'm about halfway through.
Real productive day.
Oh yeah.
Hell
Real
yeah.
productive.
So I finally got around to seeing the sequel to my favorite superhero movie of all time, Split. And
Yeah.
the favorite one is Unbreakable. I don't know what I was expecting. It was a good movie. Like,
Okay.
I don't think I liked it, if that makes sense. But it was well shot, very well acted. But it was.
But you didn't like it.
No.
Okay.
It's one of those dumb things where it's like, why didn't you like it? And I'm like, I don't know. It just
Just didn't do
me
it for
and
me.
it
Just didn't do it
just
for
were
me.
like, okay, Dan. Like the highlight for it was the ending when Mr. Willis shows up, and I mean, woof. Old Brucey boy.
Okay then.
I would say, hey, you are talking to someone whose family has a copy of Return of Bruno. Do you know what Return of Bruno is?
No.
You should know. You're a music nerd.
Oh shit. Actually, all right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And is it crap?
Yeah, it's real
Okay.
bad. It's Bruce Willis sings the blues.
Oh god.
Oh God, yes, you
Oh,
should
God.
say. And then finally, I pulled the digit out and started watching Legion.
Holy smokes! How much TV can you watch in one day?
He had 3 screens going simultaneously.
He saw my room this morning.
So do you actually watch TV and movies simultaneously?
No,
Okay.
this was.
So how?
It's just morning
But
till
it's like
night.
there's not that many hours in the day.
That is literally what I did yesterday. Like, you know how you play video games for a day?
Yeah.
I watched shows for a day.
Okay. Fair. I guess.
Because I finished my video game and didn't know what to do with myself. All right. But no, genuinely, out of all this, you should watch Black Lightning and you should watch Legion.
Okay.
Legion's completed, already out. It's Fox and Marvel doing a
thing.
together that's not part of either the Foxverse, which is the X-Men series, or the Marvelverse.
I'll be honest, when you said Legion, the first thing that popped into my mind was Anonymous.
And the first thing that popped into my mind was World of Warcraft, but go on.
The first thing that popped into mind was Legionary Disease, but that's okay. I guess we all have our different fortes. Mine's just with Papa Nurgle.
I was gonna say just because. Wait, what?
So watch Black Lightning, watch Legion.
All right, so Legion's premise in the comic books is man with dissociative identity disorder. Each part of his personality has a different superpower.
Cool.
What?
Yeah, that's that. Also, strangely, there is a theme about like psychological problems throughout all of them except for Black Lightning, which is sociological problems, but that's okay. Yeah, so in the show I'm watching, it's about a dude with like telepathy
Okay.
and voices in his head,
Okay.
and
That's it.
he's in a mental hospital. Okay, go.
Interesting.
Oh,
Did they read the original comics when they came up?
Yeah, well,
Shenanigans ensue.
like I can't say more.
All right.
It gets
Okay.
real good.
Okay, all right.
I'm only 2 episodes in, and I'm already looking forward to abandoning you schmucks to go home and watch it.
Okay, all right. Moving on.
What have you been up to, Ryan? Because I've just talked about shit for like a
15
year.
minutes.
Hey, you asked for this.
I did. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto in the times that I have been awake and almost asleep.
So, Carl, I know we go through the same cycle of games. Like,
Yeah.
you play WoW, Final Fantasy 14, and Hearthstone, but
Yeah.
you basically cycle it so each one has an update and you play it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I do Dead Cells, Slay the Spire, and Hearthstone, and
Yeah.
whenever there's an update, I go shift
Yeah.
to the next one.
Yep.
What the fuck is up with this guy playing games that hasn't been touched in centuries?
Well, as it turns out, this one has actually had an update of sorts.
Not really.
Not really?
This one is like I think I said this last week. It's the PS4 re-release.
Last fortnight.
With achievements.
Last fortnight.
Whatever.
We can do this weekly, but God, are you really ready for like a Ben's week in post? So much butt stuff.
I don't want to know.
All right, so San Andreas.
Yeah, been playing San Andreas, been good. That's pretty much the only time I've had for gaming.
You still
at
playing
all.
TF2?
I haven't actually played TF2 in the last 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
I just haven't been on my PC at all. I get
Right.
home.
Are you okay?
Ryan, do you need to see a doctor?
You guys play Hearthstone like near constantly. I don't give you shit about that.
No, we're giving you shit for not playing TF2, not because you're obsessed with it.
Yeah, no, for like, you should be like, I've reached legend in TF2.
No.
Whatever.
Implying competitive TF2.
Implying competitive TF2.
Implying TF2 is actually a game and not just a figment of Ryan's imagination.
It's actually, it's been like, it's still there. Obviously, I just haven't played it. I haven't been on my PC.
Okay.
My life has basically revolved around
Memes.
doing stuff for D&D,
Memes.
doing stuff for girlfriend,
Memes.
Good. Lots of memes. And on the occasional time where I have like an hour to myself, I'll play San Andreas. So that's pretty much it.
Seems good. How is the D&D going?
It's been good. Good.
Okay.
I don't know how much I can say.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. We can't talk about it
because we're thinking of releasing some of it, but the long and short of it is we've stumbled across some real interesting shit going on in our little world, and we're about to kidnap someone.
And to be honest, they don't know half of what's happening, and I do, and it's fucking hilarious. That's all you're getting.
Yep.
No TV shows, no comics.
No comics, obviously.
What the fuck is wrong? Who doesn't read
I did buy a new PS3 though.
Dope.
Seeing as my old one.
New as in brand new, or
No.
new as in newly acquired?
Newly acquired.
So what iconic PS3 exclusives are there?
I don't know. Dragon Age, maybe. Is that
That's
it?
not exclusive.
Exclusive? I don't know. Well, I picked up. Basically, I got a PS3 for $150, and it came with like 20 games, all of which weren't COD, which is great.
Yeah, that's first because we already
20
have
games, except all of them are COD.
Yeah.
I've seen bundles like that where I'm like,
or they're like all the FIFA games for the last 10 years, because that also happens. It's like, I'm selling my PS4 with like 20 games. $200 or something, and you look at it and it's like, that's those 20 games, 18 of them
are the same game. Or like the same two games.
okay, so this is actually a pretty solid list. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it's just I've had my PS3. It's been broken, dead for
it's
ages.
living in my room
But
until we find some technicians.
The thing that I use it for is a lot of download games.
Yep.
So I've got like all the Jak and Daxters, all the original Ratchets, Crash Team Racing, which you can't get on PS4.
You should probably... have you already downloaded those to your new PS3?
Yes. No, it's on his account. It's fine.
But
you got to get them on there before they shut down the PS3 servers. You know that's going to happen at some point.
With Final Fantasy finally stepping away from the PS3. But hell, Persona 5 was released for the PS3.
You can still...
What?
Yeah.
Are you taking the piss?
The PS3 is still kind of supported in the... In fact, you can still get like what's the PSN Plus subscription, which is the Xbox.
It's called PS Plus.
PS Plus, whatever. Subscription, you can still get that for PS3. So they're still supporting the console and the software.
Yeah. Okay, so what you fail to realize is just how invasive the PS3 was in the Japanese market.
I guess so. I kind of skipped that generation on console, so I'm not really sure.
No, 360 was dope.
360.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't know much about it because I kind of skipped that generation on console.
All you need the 360 for is Asura's Wrath.
I think I've seen that. That's the like space shoot 'em up game with weird shit everywhere.
Yeah, sort of, and it's also like a brawler in one full FMV, and it's based off can't remember which culture. Like Indian sci-fi mythology. Yeah.
No, I think I've seen it. It's about as nuts as it sounds.
And it's made by Capcom, so one day we'll get it in Marvel vs. Capcom. One day. So PS3 exclusive games, which I have at my house, which you should borrow.
Yeah.
Shadows of the Colossus / Ico bundle. Mm-hmm. Now, Shadow of the Colossus is getting a HD re-release on the PS4 soon, so hold out on that one until then, because it will look a lot like we're talking yards better.
Wasn't that a PS2 game?
That's a PS2 game.
Yeah.
So sounds like a good candidate for my new series.
Yeah, it is.
So what?
Except getting your hands on the PS2 game is going to set you back a cool 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tangent for a second.
I will tangent you all day long.
What's aged worse, PS1 or PS2 games?
PS1. Oh, actually, non-sprite-based PS1 games.
Yeah, PS1. I'd have to say.
But because it's sort of like they look kind of retro because it's so primitive, whereas the PS2 ones look like modern games that are just super low fidelity in my mind.
But I'm still trained to like politely ignore PS2 stuff.
What do you mean?
Well, like for example, the original Halo looks like garbage, which is not a PS2 game, yes, but it's the same era.
It's the same
game
era, yeah.
Having said
where
that,
I can just be like, no, this is what it was like back then.
No, but
the original
but that's what
Halo.
I mean. It looks like a modern game, except super low fidelity.
All right, but
actually, my biggest complaint with the original Halo is the lighting. Oh my god, it's like
Super low fidelity.
no, not
Super low fidelity, brothers.
Just no lighting,
the trouble
and all the voices sound muffled.
the trouble I have with the PS1 era games is, do you remember what the first Tekken looks like?
Looks like Lego.
Yeah, it's
But that has like a retro style all
Tekken
of
3
itself.
has aged quite well. Like Tekken 3 is still, it's a PlayStation 1 game where I'm like, yeah, this is
Actually,
Did Tekken
I
3
think
play in 480i?
Actually,
I think so.
I'm thinking of Tekken 3. I don't remember what the original
the
looked
Tekken
like.
1 looked real
I don't remember what it looked like.
real bad. See, the PS2 still has stuff that is exceptions. Like, for example, Okami's originally a PS2 game, and put it this way, Okami was developed at such a high... I think it was PS2 or was it PS3? Anyway, what's another good PS2 game?
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas?
I said
Like
good.
the game we're talking about.
Yeah, like the game that we originally talked about before we started. Like
Shadows of the Colossus, Kingdom Hearts, all these games, while look dated, still have just... Yeah, sorry, I'm just in the camp that I find it harder to adjust to PlayStation 1.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Like, the original Crash Bandicoot. Like, I love that game,
it's a great game.
but...
Looks like crap.
Mm.
Like, I think the thing as well is that PS1 was at the era where 3D games were in, but like smoothing and anti-aliasing cost too much processing
3D
power.
games were brand new for the PS1 era.
Yeah,
that was the first.
That's my
That was
point.
the first home console that was really capable of that sort of stuff. Actually, did it beat the 64 to market? It did, didn't
Yes.
it? Yeah. So it was the first console that was really capable
Well,
of that stuff.
like my point is,
Because like the Saturn was sort of capable of it, but it wasn't really designed for it.
Saturn was a
Yeah.
2D
Yeah.
by the time you kind of got to
console.
the PS2 era, like stuff like anti-aliasing that wasn't just smudging the whole screen started to make sense, and like, you know, so like you started having 3D graphics which actually looked half decent, but palatable. Like even if if you go back before PS1, right? You had like Sega CD and like all the 32X games and stuff, and some of those were 3D.
Star Fox on Super Nintendo and all of its 5 frames a second glory.
Oh, that thing runs like garbage.
It's like so if anybody has a SNES Mini, go back and play the original Star Fox. It might have aged the worst of any retro game.
Yeah.
The worst.
What's the other one where you have to fall through the hoops on the SNES that also used a similar chip in Mode 7? Nope.
Not a 3D game.
Sort of 3D. Anyway, whatever.
Fall through the hoop.
I'll find it in my head.
Like it wasn't a Super FX games, but there was like Pilot Wings where you had the skydiving.
I think it was Pilot Wings.
That's not a Super FX game. That was like a launch title, and it just abused Mode 7, which means that its world is just a flat plane on the ground.
Ew. Ew. So yeah, in my opinion, PS2 has aged better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I think that's probably fair.
And back to what I was saying about it is that some of the games are really good and they're getting ports to PS4. But the funny thing is, I've got, say, San Andreas, right?
Yeah.
I've got it for PS4 and for PS3.
Yeah.
But I don't think the PS3 is a PS2 emulator, whereas the PS4 is. Because the PS4 comes up and goes, like, PlayStation 2 and saving to your 8 megabyte, like, memory stick and all that sort of stuff.
Which, once again, the PS2
and
has...
it lags out sometimes as well.
So what does that mean for the PS3 version? Like,
I think
what
the
did
PS3,
they change?
I think the PS3 version may have just been recompiled for the PS3.
All right,
Was it better? Did they fix any bugs?
No,
Did it
probably.
run better?
Probably not really.
Did
no.
it run better?
Okay.
I think it ran a little bit better than the PS4
So
version.
the main
from
thing
memory.
is the PS3 is based off cell architecture, which, as developers you guys both know, is a bitch.
well, I've never tried developing anything for the PS3, but yes, the rumors are that it was not particularly easy to develop.
So
for.
it's much easier to just throw up an emulator on our new computer, which is like 7 times as powerful as a PS2, and just be like, run a PS2 game.
From disk.
Yeah.
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 So I was going to say, you need to play Shadows of the Colossus and Ico.
Okay.
Like 2 very iconic games in gaming history. You will hate Ico, but Shadows of the Colossus is great.
Okay. So you need to play this game. You'll hate it.
Well,
Thanks, Ben. That really sells it.
well, no,
No,
it's a really good game, but the initial premise is basically one giant escort mission,
Okay. Fair enough.
but with like puzzle solving built around it,
Right.
and you're a cute little boy with horns,
Okay.
as in like not cute as in, hey Carl, but as in like. I thought I should clarify. And the other one I think you should play is called 3D Dot Heroes, which is basically a Legend of Zelda Link to the Past knockoff, but you get to like A, design your character, B, you have like you can upgrade and modify your sword and get it like really fucking big, as in like
Okay.
you get it to the size of the screen type big. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
The main part is designing your character, but
Okay.
unfortunately that has the problem of being literally the brightest game ever released.
Fair enough.
As in, like,
Your eyes will bleed.
oh, Jesus. No, Carl.
Oh, you want me to? Okay,
What
right,
the fuck have you been doing?
right.
Talk
So
about tangent.
okay, so it's so like you were saying about the cyclical nature of our gaming. It's WoW week. It's WoW time. There was a patch.
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow.
Rating.
Amazing.
There was a patch. Rating continues apace. It didn't really change. The patch was mostly targeted at revamping the below max level stuff.
Cool.
So
Rescaling.
yeah, okay. So basically, they've taken all the old zones and they've made it so that if you're playing in a level appropriate area of the game, the enemies will scale to your power level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this has both positive and negative aspects to it.
Yep. It means you can take noobs into high levels areas.
Well, not quite. It's sort of like each part has like a minimum level that they won't go below. So they still expect you to start from the noob zone and go on a path through the world. But it gives you a lot more flexibility in the path that you take. And it also means that you don't feel like you should ditch a storyline halfway through it because you've out-leveled the zone. Okay? So in that way, it's a lot more satisfying to level a lower level character because it feels a lot more coherent, and you actually get to use more than one ability per enemy before they just fall over.
Yep.
So that's the good. The bad is that it's slower, and that's when I say the bad. That's bad for me, not necessarily bad for a first-time player. I think net effect is it's a good change because it's going to be a lot more. Introducing somebody to WoW without telling them to boost up to maximum level immediately is going to be a lot easier when the low-level gameplay actually feels like gameplay and not just like a chore.
Yep. And so I'm guessing what this does, this impacts the easy grind situations.
Yeah, pretty much. So, because it's sort of like, if I could have sort of thought that I might bring one of my low-level characters up to max level, because I feel like playing a ranged character and I don't have any ranged characters at max level, other than my shaman, which I've put all my resources into the melee tree, so I can't really do that.
Like, I don't feel like respecing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to take a lot longer than it would have if I'd done it before the patch, but it'll also be more enjoyable. Or I could just pay the $60 to boost it up. But
you probably will.
I don't know. Time as they say, time is money, but I'm not sure if it's that much.
Time is money, friend.
Rule 10 of acquisition, mate. Greed is eternal.
Greed is good.
Greed is eternal.
Now, having played a game with level scaling in it before, has someone mapped out the plateaus where you'll be too weak to complete an area even though it's paired with your level?
I don't think they exist. Well, if I come up to one, I'll let you know.
They exist. That doesn't matter how good your calculation is. There's always one point where what you're versing has been scaled too well. Or
Actually, that's a lie. They did make a mistake with that. In the Warlords of Draenor period, that's levels 90 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
The rare mobs in the world were too strong.
Cool.
I think that's the main issue that's been uncovered so far.
Yeah. I remember a game, like one of the games I used to play had like a plateau around about level 40 where you had to power through to get to 50 to get all the good items and skills. But the point between 40 and 50 was an absolute hell because everything was scaled, expecting you to have that when you can't actually get that. And oof.
That just seems like bad design.
I know. I reported it.
Okay, cool.
Don't worry. I did my duty.
Now, the other thing that I've been playing this week is a bit...
It's a bit erotic.
I was going to say it's a bit weird, but I've been finding it rather compelling. It's so I was watching the AGDQ 2018 speedruns, and I saw that there was a speedrun for randomized Link to the Past. So I was intrigued because it just sounded like such a bizarre concept. So I found the site, I got it set up, and I find it really fun, but it's kind of difficult. I'm not very good at it.
So
what exactly is randomized in Link to the Past?
Okay, so like Link to the Past is a Zelda game, so it has dungeons and treasure chests all over the world, and it's like it has a bunch of upgrades that it's sort of almost like a Metroidvania in that it has a bunch of upgrades that give you different capabilities that unlock different parts of the map and different dungeons. Mm-hmm. So
I'm trying to work out what's like a PlayStation 2 game that we can compare this to.
Doesn't matter.
So the
matter.
randomizer mod basically takes it basically randomizes the location of all the items, but in a way so that the game is still completable. It takes into account the prerequisites for access to each part of the world and make sure that you can't get stuck needing to get an item that you don't have access to.
Okay, but
those requirements don't particularly make sense a lot of the time and can be hilariously cruel.
Okay.
Obtuse at best. Okay, so I too have been playing Zelda Randomiser.
Only because I wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, fine, Carl, I'll play one. So, fuck. Like, just fuck. Literally, the first majority of my chests I opened to begin with. So I didn't get a weapon, by the way. I had 2 abilities to stun things, but no weapons.
Right.
Except for bombs.
Except for bombs, which I got lucky with. I found some bombs, and I'm like, oh, thank Christ.
Oh, yeah, so that's the other thing I didn't mention. You don't start with a sword.
Of course not.
Yeah, no, because the sword's an item. So, all I had was like a boomerang, which stunned things, and it expected me to half finish 2 dungeons, jump into the late game, collect some items from the late game area, warp back into the like early game, finish those 2 dungeons, and come back and grab the sword. And I'm just like, Carl!
Yeah, so it's sort of like just because you need the bow. It's like just because you need the bow to finish a couple of the dungeons doesn't mean that it won't put a progression item in the early parts of those dungeons where you can get without any prerequisites.
Right.
Because they're accessible to you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Accessible.
Accessible.
Accessible does include dumb things like jumping off the screen at the right angle so you can swim in water without an item.
Yeah, so I don't know how long I'm going to play this for. Like, I know like the community mostly does speedruns and they're all intimidatingly very good at it. I don't think I'm going to get that good, but I'll probably play it a bit longer.
He's finished 1 run so far. He was very happy last night.
I was.
Fair
I
enough.
was like, fuck yeah. And I'm just like, I hate this.
So is this the first like mod or ROM hack or anything that you've actually played, like a randomizer or any other type of mod?
No, but it's probably the first that I've taken to completion.
Okay. So you finished the game?
Well, I finished 1 run of it.
Yeah.
You can't say that you finished a random... you can't say that you finished a rogue... Like, it's sort of like a roguelike.
You can say you finished a roguelike.
Yeah, okay. You can say that you finished a game with random elements in it, but you haven't really gotten...
You haven't completed.
You can't really complete it because
exactly.
it's sort of like...
That's it's like the appeal. That's the point.
Yeah.
when you can't finish something, you don't have to finish something, which is probably why roguelikes relate to me so much. Because I can just stop at any time and be like,
I'm done.
I'll be back in a year.
Yeah.
Ciao, Bella.
Fair enough. So what else have you played?
Jeez.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, what other ROM hacks? I mean, I've played, like, what's that dope-ass Pokemon one that backported all the things to the Game Boy?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't play that one.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
The Gen 6 one?
Yeah, you know the one.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
was
remember if I can't remember if I actually ended up trying to play one of the many Mega Man 2 ROM hacks, or if I just watched
Why
videos
would you
about
do
them.
a Mega Man 2 ROM hack when Mega Man 3 is so much better?
I don't know, because it's sort of like there's a ton of Mega Man 2 Mega Man 2 specifically ROM hacks for some reason.
Is the engine looser?
I don't know. Well, no, maybe not having a slide makes the levels easier to design because you're always moving at a constant velocity. I don't know.
What other ones? I've like, what's some famous mod? I've played Natural Select. Have you guys played Natural Selection?
That's
in terms of the
okay.
mods?
So that's a mod, not a ROM hack.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ROM hacks. I mean, I did play Nude Samus for the Metroid 2 game.
So I played.
you did.
I played.
It's like Ryan's just like moving right along.
I was 12 and didn't know better.
I played Pokemon Ash Gray, which was the
You played
Pokemon Ash version. It follows the story, and it follows the anime story.
Isn't that Pokemon Yellow?
No, Pokemon Yellow is literally Pokemon Red with Pikachu following you around.
Dope.
And Team Rocket.
And
And like the Team Rocket characters from the cartoon.
And Brock and what's her face?
They're
Misty?
in red.
They're
Yeah.
in Red. But anyway, the
I don't
point
know,
is,
I haven't played that game for like
this one was
years.
actually a Fire Red mod, so it was Gen 3.
Right.
But basically, all all the first and second season episodes featured. I didn't play it to completion because there's just so much content. But like stuff like you get attacked by a swarm of Beedrills.
So is it like a free roamer like the free roamer RPG like those games, or is it an episodic game?
It's not episodic in the sense that you need
It's sort
to
of like
complete
screen.
stuff.
It's like screen fades to black, and then it's the start of episode 2,
No,
and then it's like a second. Like
No.
It's like a self-contained level.
it's like
It's a
like,
dawn of a new day.
It's like a Pokemon game, right? In that it's sort of semi-linear. You sort of got to go certain places.
Right.
But
Pokemon game, semi-linear. Yeah.
I don't know.
They're not semi-linear anymore. They're like ever since Gen 4, I'd say they've been 100%
Ever since
linear.
Gen 1, they've been linear.
yeah, but like even
You've
Gen
got
1, like it was
point A,
like
point B, point C, point D, and you can do stuff in the area around it.
yeah,
you
but like
still,
even then, sometimes it was like okay, now go back to this town, and half the
Yeah,
time
I
because
know-
like
I know what-
the big thing, like the big Team Rocket thing, would be like okay, but go back to this town and go through their dungeon. And
Yeah,
I know- I know
that's a
I know what
linear
Ryan's
RPG.
talking about though, because like
that's why I called it semi-linear.
in Gen 1, the progression is sort of blocked by movement abilities like surf and cut, and also like blocking NPCs.
Yeah, like
But
I'm not letting you through here
Yeah.
because I haven't had water.
But
Or T.
that was basically the only one, right?
Yeah. Oh, and then I suppose you had the guys that stopped you hopping on the
Yeah.
bike path without the bike.
and
yeah.
then there was the ticket for the ship.
But
Ticket for the ship.
the point is
Boom.
in later games, it became less and less about movement abilities. It's like where those guys weren't involved, it was just about where you could get to with with the abilities you had. Whereas
Yeah.
in the later games, it's sort of like as soon as you arrive at the next town, there's a guy blocking the exit, and you can't progress until you beat the gym.
Yeah.
The end.
TLDR, get the badge.
I mean, I think the worst example of that I've encountered is the guy in Sun and Moon who's like, I'm not going to let anybody go down this street until my dog's found all the items. What the fuck?
Well, what
Did his
about
dog
like
find the items?
about-
I don't fucking know.
What about-
Because you can't ask him, because when you finally trigger the story event that lets you go there, he's gone. So, you know.
Oh.
Well, that's the thing. Like, what about in XY where you got up to the fairy gym, but if you tried to progress past that point, you had the string of kids holding hands, going, you know, we're doing some sort of dance. We'll let you know when we're done.
I actually never encountered that because by the point I got to that game, I was so conditioned.
You just
to
went
the
straight to the
structure
gym.
the structure of the game. I just went straight to
Didn't even heal. Straight to the gym. Beat the gym. Or next town.
Yeah, no, legitimately by that point, I'm pretty sure my my Delphox was that high of a level that there was legitimately nothing in the game.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so the point is, yes, I have played Ash Grey. It was fun. It had stuff like the Beach Rule event. It had the Mankey turning into Primeape and giving it away and that sort of stuff.
So the game makes you give your Pokemon away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make you. You can just avoid that event.
Can you catch Pokemon that aren't in the plot of the anime in the game?
Yep. Yes, you can.
But it will give you the chance to catch
like
Caterpie.
Yeah.
And Peak.
So
and 50 Tauros.
Even in Yellow, I think had like a guaranteed spawn of a Pidgeotto.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I did not
Level
know
9
that.
Pidgeotto.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
It was one of those things just to
tie into the
Okay, the other ROM hack that I'm not sure if you've played, but I tried playing it once. It's Kaizo Mario.
Oh, Kaizo Mario. No, that's not a ROM hack. It's a fucking torture device.
Do you know about
Explain.
this? All right. So, in the ancient days of yore, prior to the existence of the Wii U and Mario Maker, people used to make ROM hacks of Super Mario World in such a way that it was almost damn near impossible to beat the level.
You can dispense with the voice. It's not really adding anything.
So basically, people made Super Mario Maker before they made Super
pretty
Mario
much.
Maker.
And so one of the very, very big things was that is, for example, one of the favorite tricks they used to have was you'd go out the exit, and immediately after the exit, there would be a pit. So if you walked through the exit, you would die, and you'd have to redo the level again. It also has such features as in, oh, Christ, I have to. You have to play this.
No, he doesn't.
No, to truly understand what this is like. Like,
okay,
I've played Super Mario Maker. I've played like.
Have you played the hard online levels where you have to twirl 16 times off a shell, ricocheting upwards off springs while you jump up in the middle, and then you got to grab it in the air at the top. It's dope. It's cool, so you feel happy when you beat it, but God, it's
basically I want to be the guy, but actually Mario.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
That is
the identifying feature of Kaizo Mario is munches everywhere. They're like the invincible things that cover.
Oh, I thought that was
walls
that
and
thing
floors.
that people that into BDSM went to when they're not actually doing it and just want to socialize.
What?
It's called a munch.
Okay, sorry.
You poor closeted boy. I'll have to beat that out of you later.
Okay, whatever. And the you've just totally derailed my train of thought. Holy smokes.
Munches, which are invisible things.
and invisible coin blocks everywhere.
Oh,
Of
yes.
course.
Like specifically mostly positioned where you would want to jump.
Yeah, of course.
Like where the natural momentum of the level would take you, they put a coin block there so you die.
Of course.
It's a beautiful cock tease, and I'm waiting for someone to make Kaizo Bandicoot.
But does it have the correct tools? Does it have invisible boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually does.
Does the first one, or that's
No, the first one does, because it has that bridge you have to blind jump off, and it spawns the boxes as you land.
That's the thing that has a level where you start, and it's the bridge, right? But if you turn around, there's what looks like a broken ass bridge, but with the rope still going. And if you edge out
a box appears.
The bridge layers appear. But then they also have the level with the dungeon.
In that one, there are boxes that are invisible until you stand on them.
Yes.
So until you make
grey
contact.
metal boxes that you can't spin, right? You can't break, but you can walk on them.
But
and they're just invisible. They just don't exist until you figure it out that they exist.
Evil.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Woohoo!
Now here's the thing, though. You don't really see ROM hacks of PlayStation games as often.
Yeah, that's because downloading a ROM hack of a 70 meg file was really hard up until the era of good internet.
Is it, or is it just because those formats are harder to work with than tile-based systems, which is what the most
ISO ones.
No, well, just 3D in general. You know, because it's sort of like
textures and shit.
Yeah, got to move boxes. Yeah, I don't know.
So we'll see.
Well, I think it's quite possible because Crash Bandicoot has.
Did you just say Trash Bandicoot?
No,
No,
well, he didn't. You just heard it because, you know.
It is trash.
It
Crash
is trash.
Bandicoot is
So
trash.
trash.
That would be fun. I like.
Trash Bandicoot. That's the name of the hack. Trash Bandicoot.
In the first level, you have to run backwards.
Yeah.
Every level's at. Oh man, can you just imagine doing that?
Oh, so-
Crash Bandicoot, but every level you have to run towards the camera.
Oh no. Okay. No. Okay. Trash Bandicoot. It's a ROM hack. Or it's just the original Crash Bandicoot, except the camera is flipped. So every level that you run forward, you're now running towards the camera, and every level that you were running towards the camera, you're now running away from the camera, and there's the rock in the way.
Oh, that would be great. I want to see that.
We have the tools.
Oh my
we
God.
could do this.
Anyway.
I know, so I'm still stuck. Like, how would you beat the boulder level? We might have to,
Memorization, basically.
but you can't see it. How are you memorizing what's not there?
3 seconds jump, 4 seconds.
But
jump.
that level also has the like laser barriers with spikes.
Oh
But,
my God.
I love
So I
it.
don't know. So these days, you've got platforms like Mario Maker and like the Bethesda Creators Club trying to actually
Sell the idea of
sell
a
the idea
moddable
of
game.
of a moddable game or mods themselves. How do we feel about this?
I feel like there's a place for both. Like
I've paid good money for mods before. See Natural Selection, Counter-Strike, Dota 2.
I see a lot of them as just selling the map makers of old games. So you look
Yeah.
at StarCraft, you look at like even like Far Cry 2 had its own map maker. Like Tony Hawk had a map maker.
That was dope, by the
Right.
way.
There is a massive difference between using Mario Maker, which whilst it still takes a lot of effort to make something that somebody actually wants to play, the learning curve is a lot less steep because the tool is more intuitive.
Well,
Rather than having to even for games in which there are community tools for ROM hacking, they tend to be a bit
obtuse. Well,
Yeah.
I remember trying to set up scripted events in Age of Empires 2 map making. And let me tell you, my 14-year-old brain could not comprehend how to do that.
the only map making I've really had experiences with is Doom, the Doom engine.
Dude,
StarCraft. I made a actual King of the Hill map with triggers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Which
see,
I never got a chance to play because no one ever wanted to play it.
triggers are difficult, are they not?
They're annoying, but at the time I didn't even have any programming experience. So like I was doing stuff like going like, oh yeah, so when someone gets close to the hill, which it was like a doodad, start a timer. And I never checked to see if the timer was already going for that team. So it was just like 59, 59, 59, 59.
Whoops.
I was like, oh, okay. So then I had to like, okay, well, no, I have to get it to trigger, but then never trigger that again whilst this is going for that team.
So when I was doing Hexen map making,
I figured it out, by the way. Just
when
I'm
I was doing
very
Hexen,
proud of you.
when I was doing Hexen map making, I actually did have programming experience, so I probably shouldn't have struggled as much with the scripting in that game as I did. I think it's because I wasn't really familiar with the concept of event-based systems.
Yeah.
All my programming experience up to that point had been purely procedural. So the concept of like that something can happen and then trigger a piece of code was kind of foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also did Age of Mythology to lesser skill level.
Yeah.
Like just making just random battle maps.
Yeah.
There's only so many dicks you can draw in a map editor. So, actual dumb project I've been stewing on for a while based around this is up until Antichamber very recently, which is also an Aussie game. We've had no real proper fuck with your like 4-dimensional games represented in a 3D environment.
Okay.
Ryan's struggling to process this statement.
Yeah.
There was another one recently where there was like a 4D puzzle game, which I have to try and find again in my head.
So what are you defining as the fourth dimension here?
Just a fourth dimension
Well,
for space to move through.
Yeah. Well, Antichamber is not really 4D. It's more that the game, the state of the 3D environment changes as you move, changes with time and as you move through it.
Okay.
It's sort of like you can't trust what you've already seen. because if you come around to it again, it's probably going to be different.
So it's kind of like the Undertale thing, where it's like your save is always affected by what you've done previously until you.
No, this is the persistent world thing.
Yeah, no, it's not the events. It's not that it remembers events that have happened. It's that the world itself changes.
See, and what
as you explore it.
So, failing to work out how to do a 4-dimensional first-person shooter because I'm a sick fuck and would love that. Like, trying to shoot a bullet in 4-dimensional space.
How?
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's super hot.
No, Super Hot's not 4D.
Isn't it?
No.
Even though you can control time?
Yeah, that's just... I meant 4-dimensional space, not 4th dimension is time.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, no, that's dumb. Don't do that.
Yeah. So, do you know what I settled on for the idea in my head?
What?
I want a non-Euclidean FPS.
Okay.
Ben.
Yeah?
Why?
Why not? Think about it.
Because is it going to be fun?
I have no idea. Is someone going to mysteriously walk through a window and be like, wait, what? Yes!
I'm imagining like MC Escher, the video game.
Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
That's what it is. Can you, like... There used to be a bunch of hacks.
Wait a minute.
Are you talking
Prey.
about Portal?
The
Portal with
origi-
actual guns?
It's close.
Yeah, wait, Prey. The original Prey.
Yes, the Prey started off the idea, and then I started looking into it. So originally in Counter-Strike 1.6 and Duke Nukem before it, there was a bunch of curious tricks you can do.
Are you talking about like wall surfing and stuff?
No,
Roof surfing?
like
or whatever it's
actual
called?
map tricks.
Okay.
So let's say you have a flat plane. You can have a door here and a door here. So a door at either end for those of you not on camera. And if you walk through this door, you appear out this door, but you have an entire space here.
Yes, that's basically Portal physics.
Yep.
From Portal.
Now, it gets messier. What you can do is imagine you have a spiral stairway. So a spiral down the bottom at the top. You set the trigger for the bottom of the stairway that you appear out the top of the stairway. Then on the map, you can have like multiple branches out. So you have like this indefinite stairway and the levels have different...
Yeah. But we've seen that sort of stuff before. I mean, how many looping boss levels have you done where it loops around and does the same thing again?
Yeah, but I want to design a game with, like, utilizing this to its potential. I think it would be hilarious.
So I think you should look up the game Portal.
Yeah, but you understand Portal, you utilize it yourself.
Yes.
You're not put into an environment where you
Can't see this sort of stuff.
disregard it. You as the player have control of this.
Okay. Whereas you want to be put into the situation.
Yeah, I want like a feeling of helplessness when someone else guides you into this territory of MC Escher. Like,
Okay.
for example, imagine how would you feel as a player if you just walked through this room into a door and then you're in the room again, but the room's at a 90-degree angle. And then you got to work out how to get back through the door you just walked through from the 90-degree angle room using the gaps in the windows and like...
Okay. I'm not entirely sold, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, you're intrigued.
Yes,
and-
suspicious.
Yeah.
All right.
Slightly aroused.
Okay. We've
So-
been talking about this for far too long.
Yeah. You've just been rambling for like 20 minutes.
This is what I do best.
Okay. So
You guys were like,
All right,
hey,
so-
Ben, ramble. And
Okay.
I'm
So
like,
so what else did we want to cover today? We want
Well,
to talk about Nintendo. How
let's-
do you pronounce it? The
Labo.
cardboard
Labo.
stuff.
Let's talk about papercraft, boys.
All right. So
Who
so-
here likes papercraft? Raise your hands. I am the only one.
okay. So
I honestly, so
in that case, why don't you tell us why we should like this? I'm not saying I don't like it. I think it's got potential, but why is it important?
Should we start off with what Nintendo LABO is? For
And
the
work
people
Oh
that-
come on, the
backwards.
entire internet knows what it is. But sure. Let's kick
All right,
it off
what
with
is
that.
Nintendo Labo, Carl?
It is.
It's papercraft.
It's Nintendo's new papercraft initiative. They're going to be selling kits, which involve a bunch of cardboard, templates, instructions on how to assemble those templates into a cardboard device or object, which also comes bundled with game software, which will use that in some fashion as
using
part of
sensor sweeps.
using the Joy-Con sensors as part of some sort of augmented reality.
You get to be a giant Mac. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one that Ben's super pumped about is the one that assembles into like a mech backpack, into like a robot backpack with it has like pulleys that you attach to the Joy-Cons, and then you use them and then use the thing to control like a mech in the game.
Okay.
So it's like why I'm really excited about this is
Nintendo's taking the kid has more fun playing with the cardboard box idea from like every Christmas morning ever.
Pretty much.
And evolving it into like a modular gameplay experience.
So like what other things did we see? We saw like
a piano?
Like a cardboard keyboard, like piano keyboard. We saw a cardboard house.
Is
Camera,
this the
fishing
natural
rod.
evolution of 1-2-Switch?
This is
Probably.
both the natural evolution of 1-2-Switch and the evolution of all those fucking dumb controllers for the Wii.
Okay.
Do you remember the Wii bowling ball?
I don't.
How about the Wii maracas? How about the Wii tennis racket? How about the Wii golf club?
Wait. Were these actual add-ons that you could get? I thought they were just sub games in Wii Sports.
No. These were peripherals you could purchase to attach to your Wiimote.
Were they just pieces of plastic?
Yeah. I used to say, how about the Wii fishing rod? Did I say that already?
You did.
How about the Wii gun? How about the other Wii gun?
Oh, the Wii gun sort of makes sense though, because there were a ton of gun games for Wii. There weren't there?
There was like 2, I think.
I don't know.
Ryan's going to be playing COD with the Wii Zapper sometime in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, by surprise, Ryan. Try playing a COD game with a goddamn light gun, you whore. You love it. Anyway,
there was the
disgusting.
Wii steering wheel that came with Mario Kart.
Oh, Jesus, I forgot about that. The only good use for those was Frisbees.
What about the skateboard thing, the Wii Fit board?
The Wii Fit board is
the
a
Wii
different...
skateboard. Was that a thing? That should have been a thing.
Well,
No, it was.
Skate
It was
had a
for
skate.
skate.
What?
Yeah, there's a board you can get to play skate with.
Outstanding.
Am I No.
No, you don't.
It's also too
You don't
expensive.
You don't need
It's
to
also
get
way
that.
too expensive, and also like it's
Dumb
dumb and pretty useless.
and
like-
hilarious.
I remember they had it at uni, and they were like
Are you-
they were showcasing it, and then like people were like jumping on it, trying to do tricks. Like, don't jump on it. It's like that's what you do when you skate. What did you expect?
It's like, what do you expect people to do? Hello, fellow kids. I know how to skateboard.
I used to sell them. That's how I know about these things. Anyway, so papercraft, augmented reality,
Cardboard boxes.
cardboard boxes. I, for one, welcome my Ava 01 suit that I can play a video game with.
It's not an Evangelion suit.
Yet, because I can modify the template as long as the core components are intact, it can be.
Okay, so now
So is there
now
actually
we come to the
sensors?
now we come to the crux of the matter.
Is there actually like sensor? I heard that there was like stuff you could put on things that would act as sensors, or is it literally just put your Joy-Con inside a cardboard box?
It's just put your Joy-Con inside. Okay, so the way that one of the systems work is it has a series of pulleys that when they move up and down, there's a Joy-Con sensor in the back, and because it has a motion/IR sensor in it, when the thing moves, it detects the movements and it does the thing.
Okay.
Very technical description, same way the piano
When the
works.
thing moves, it does the thing. Thank you, Ben.
So
Thank you, Professor Benjamin.
It detects a difference in the light spectrum that it's projecting and then assumes the input based on the difference in the light. Like, for example, when you play the piano, hit the key and notice that part of the spectrum's blocked. Play the note.
Is this actually going to be reliable enough?
I think it will. I have faith.
Oh,
It can't be worse than fucking Wiimotes.
And then there's the one that looked interesting to me is the one where you have like a little bug.
Oh yeah,
And you attach the two Joy-Cons to it, and it's going to use the rumble in the Joy-Cons to actually move the bug.
Okay.
And then so me and Carl are going to strap knives to our bugs and have a bug duel.
Wait, what?
The winner gets to keep the other person's Joy-Cons.
I was not informed of this.
It's time to Beyblade, bitch!
Why
It's
is
time to.
So
Okay,
I mentioned,
dude, you could make a spinning bladey knife thing powered off rumbles. Easy.
What, Beyblade?
We can make switch Beyblades and we can do it in the... Oh,
So I was saying this to
this
Carl
is
before.
the future!
I was saying this to Carl before we hopped on, but why is it that Nintendo is literally the Gimmick like company?
Because they make toys.
Yeah,
They make toys that happen to be video game platforms. It's ever since the
Wii, actually.
Yeah, ever since the Wii, no, I feel like it predates that.
No, the GameCube wasn't a toy.
The GameCube was
But
a controller.
Did the DS
Had a proper
predate the
controller.
Wii?
Oh, yes.
So ever since the DS, they've ever since I'd say it was like an internal design philosophy that they adopted as they were developing the DS and the Wii. And ever since then, every console that they have has not tried to differentiate itself based on
Power.
technical specs. It's tried to differentiate itself based on
Entertainment, basically.
input gimmicks, entertainment gimmicks.
I was going to say input gimmicks.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, the DS had the stylus, right?
yeah,
And then you had the Wii,
and two screens.
and then you had the Wii that had the
and a
Wiimotes.
microphone, which is not actually used for voice chat in the
they've had
slightest. It's for...
They've had that since the Famicom. That's not new.
Yeah, but once again, it was for the Famicom, then it stopped being a thing, and then it came back to being a thing.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Then they had the Wiimotes. Then they had the Wii U tablet.
Which was pretty garbage.
Garish.
Well,
Garbage.
now,
Now they've got the Joy-Cons and they're like selling their selling game was
see,
fucking
I'm gonna go into bat for the Wii U tablet. It wasn't awful. It was essentially a Switch that you couldn't take with you. Which means it was awful, but it was like half a great idea.
I really find it quite comfortable.
Yeah.
And I never played a game like Mario Maker was good with it.
Yeah.
I never played a game.
Mario Maker was real good with it.
And that's the only game I've played that really utilized it. Apparently, there are several other ones, like the Batman Arkham game for the Wii U, uses it to a great effect. And this is where I go. There are sometimes the device gets used for the appropriate means, but the result is still garbage.
And it's not, yeah, and it's also sort of like just because
you can doesn't mean you should. We're looking at you, Star Fox Zero.
How did you know exactly what I was going to talk about?
I set that up for you.
Like
He dealt the cards, you just played them.
It's like. So are we making the conclusion that Nintendo's focus on gimmicks is a net positive? Is it a net positive?
I'm not even saying it's a net negative. I'm just saying it's something that Nintendo does. They go, hey, we've got this weird, quirky thing that we're doing.
So I think it's sort of like, it's almost like their willingness to experiment in this way leaves them open, leaves the possibility open that that one of the experiments lands well, sticks the landing, and is a runaway success.
But then you also have the opposite with like the Wii U, where they're like, oh, we have this thing. It's like a tablet, but it's also a controller. Can we take our games with us? No. Okay.
See, the Switch isn't, in my opinion, too much of a gimmick in its raw form. It's just like, yo, here's a portable console you can put on your TV.
Yeah, so that part's not the gimmick. The gimmick is the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, which didn't see coming.
Yeah.
The only thing that I want to say is, like, you look at other companies, right? And so other companies have controllers, obviously. They have motion sensing stuff built into, like PS4 has it built into the controller.
Oh yeah, do you remember the 6-axis PS3 controller?
Yeah,
and how long that lasted?
So you had motion sensing. There was like a couple of games that took advantage of that. One of them was Ratchet, oddly enough.
Yeah. So
it was
could detect all this, and once again, about halfway through the life cycle, if that, they're like, yeah, and you have a normal controller now because
that experiment did not work.
Yeah.
Whereas Wii was just like, love life.
But yeah, so I kind of feel like it's like other manufacturers consider them to be like one-off gimmicks that may take off but usually don't. And then get ditched. Whereas Nintendo leans into it so heavily, and it's just like, okay, we have all these weird features of our Joy-Cons. What games can we make from them?
Yeah, it's sort of like they commit to whatever the gimmick is, and make sure that all of their first-party titles utilize it in some fashion.
Yeah.
Can I make a dumb analogy for this?
Go ahead.
It's so Nintendo rolls a 1d12.
Okay, this is a dumb analogy.
Yeah, no, allow me to. So they have basically an equal chance of rolling either a huge flaw, being a 1, or a huge success, being a 12.
But how's that different to a D20 or a D100 or?
Allow me to get into it. Other companies, i.e. Sony and Microsoft, roll 3D4s. So even at their worst, it's still a 3. And they have a low chance of a 3 as well, because they have to roll several successive. And even at their best, it's
still a 12.
It's a 12, but they have a really low chance of getting a 12 because they still lessen the risks and the rewards by closing in the gaps.
So what you're saying is that in making their core experience so much more consistent, the more quote-unquote mainstream, the more quote-unquote mainstream console manufacturers and game publishers have also lessened the chance that they're going to have like a really boundary-breaking smash hit.
Yeah. Well, let's...
In that every game will sort of resonate with its...
Coming soon to the PS4, COD 27.
Yeah, well, every game will resonate with its targeted audience, but not much outside that.
All right, so let's look at the current line of innovation of the Xbox line through to the Xbox One X.
The Xbox One X is the Xbox One's most innovative game is a PC port.
Yeah. All right, so the original Xbox, great console, literally computer parts.
Yeah.
Sold in the lounge room.
Yep.
The Xbox 360, literally computer parts with a HD DVD drive that went nowhere.
Yep.
Okay, whatever. They could store more media. All right, the Xbox One. All right, cool. It now plays Blu-rays, I think. Yeah. And does...
It plays Blu-rays and looks like a VCR.
Yeah, and it's computer hardware. The Xbox One X, it plays 4K Blu-rays and it's still literally computer hardware at a slightly cheaper price.
And their PS3 is a glorified Blu-ray player. The PS4 is a glorified Blu-ray player.
With computer hardware. That's the thing.
I thought you guys were into consoles. You're sort of slagging them off real hard at the moment.
See, do you know why I like consoles?
Why is that?
It's because I don't have to try and retrograde whatever I'm working on to play it. I just plug, play, away we go.
You say that, but in the current generation, the multiple editions of each console is going to make that more of a concern than it has been in any point in the past.
Let me put it this
way,
way,
updates
Carl.
for games already released already make this a hell of a problem. Like when I played Asura's Wrath recently, it had to download. Excuse me while I download a 600 meg update.
Excuse me while I download the entire internet. Yes.
Carl.
Yes.
I don't like consoles. I like games. And I'm saying that like with all seriousness.
That's okay.
I don't go out and buy a PS4 because I want a PS4. I went out and bought a PS4 because I wanted to play some game that was on the PS4.
Specifically, it was Crash Bandicoot in HD.
Yes.
And there was another one you had to do for PS4.
Ratchet. It was actually Ratchet PS4.
Yes, all right. The wrong one. Do you know why I got a PS4, man?
Why?
Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then it went from Bloodborne to, what was the other PS4?
You were playing Let It Die.
Let It Die. Fucking dope game.
Was that the steampunk?
No, that's the roguelike cyberpunk one.
Cyberpunk. That's
done by Suda51. And that's the thing. The PS4, you get a console for the exclusive opportunities it offers. That's it. There's some things that you can only get on the PS4, or a console. For example, Carl, have you played Final Fantasy 15 yet?
No, but it is coming out on PC. Yeah. When am I going to have time to play it? Fuck knows.
I would say it's also probably coming out on the Switch eventually.
You know what else is coming out on PC that I'm very happy about? The Final Fantasy 12 remaster.
Cool.
I know, right?
But that's the thing. If you wanted to play that,
if I'd wanted to play that at any point before, I would have needed to have owned an appropriate PlayStation.
Yeah,
yes,
like for
correct.
example, Neo, great game. It did eventually come out on PC. Fantastic.
See, that's the thing though. It's sort of like,
but
if I invest in a console.
Oh shit, that's the other one.
Nier Automata.
That's also available on PC.
The port is garbage.
Yes, okay, fine.
But that's the point, right?
Can I borrow your PS4?
I've actually offered this to you before.
But see, that's the thing, right?
But also my TV situation is nowhere near as good as my PC situation.
Why don't you connect it to your screen on your, you have a HDMI in?
That's not the point.
Suck a dick, Carl. Preferably this one.
But yeah, so that's the point, I guess. I don't go out. I mean, there are people that do. People go out and buy, consoles at launch and go,
Adam,
this is going to be the be-all, end-all for the next.
He bought an Xbox One at launch, didn't he?
I think so. Hey, I brought a Switch at launch.
Yeah, he did. That was brave. Paid off, but it was a brave gamble.
You're like, bold move, Connor. Fuck you. You remember me playing Breath of the Wild and just being like, I am so jealous right now. I have a huge
Yeah, and then 6 months later, I also purchased a Switch.
Yeah, did I find the deal? Like the
Yeah,
good
you
price
did. It was
one?
good.
And I was like, yeah, here, look, it's not going to get better than this for a while.
Anyway, where
Moral
were we?
of the story is
Moral of the story is PC is still the best platform.
gambling can pay off. Once again, Nintendo's gambles can and have paid off before.
Yeah, we were supposed to be talking about Cardboard Man.
We did.
No, so this is where I'm tying it back, is the origin of this is major gaming companies can win.
But they play it safe a lot of the
They
time.
play it safe. Nintendo doesn't play safe.
Nintendo takes wild gambles.
Yeah, and that's...
Nintendo takes wild gambles mostly around trying to turn one of their devices into a toy in some way. And that's essentially what this is. That's essentially what this is. It's basically allowing you to turn the console that you already own into some sort of interactive toy.
Yeah, and you better believe that I want to play make-believe mechs with my cousins. They're the younger ones.
I'm just imagining the sweat boxes of those cardboard boxes are going to become.
Yeah,
Also,
probably not super suited to the Australian summer. Also, are you just thinking about that because it's really uncomfortable in here at the moment?
No,
Yes.
it's because it's been uncomfortable in Australia for the last 3 months.
It's called summer.
It's only
It's called
been,
summer.
It's
It's called
only
summer, Ryan.
been the last week that's been hard. But can we point out, jumping back to the Nintendo and the gambles, let's look at the major Nintendo gambles that have paid off. The DS.
Yep.
The 3DS.
Yep.
The Wii.
Yep.
And the Switch.
Yep. So
and the Game Boy player for GameCube.
That wasn't a gamble. That was just like, hey,
So that's
sure.
that's basically all of them that aren't the.
That's not the Wii U or the GameCube.
That's basically was the GameCube a gamble? What was the gamble there?
I thought that was very much playing it safe.
That was trying to be
I will say one thing about the 64 and the GameCube. Despite the hardware in both cases being
oddly the GameCube hardware is fine. The trouble is the disc player.
yeah, I mean it's like if you leaving the media aside in both cases, cartridges for the 64s and the weird ass discs that they used for
Mini
the GameCube.
discs, mini div discs. I'm mis-selling you because you have to explain to people.
No, this will not play big-sized DVDs.
It will not play proper DVDs. These DVDs are not readable in a computer because it expects them to spin the other way.
It's really dumb. It's the best kind of piracy protection.
Yeah, anyway.
It's like the wobble on PlayStation discs.
Leaving those
the Saturn had the crinkle.
Yeah.
leaving those aside for a second, the hardware in both those machines was relatively sensible, relatively mainstream. Where they differed from their competitors were the controller design was
I'm sorry, my back's killing me now.
was that the controller design was quite different in that the PlayStation and the Xbox basically ripped off the Super Nintendo controller.
Yeah, which was SNES controller
Yeah.
plus. Whereas
Nintendo just sort of went off in its own tangent.
where the Nintendo released the three-handed grappling hook and possibly the best controller to ever exist on the planet, the GameCube controller.
It's good for fighting games. I'm not sure about for everything else.
It's good for Smash.
Yeah.
It's good for shmups, which I also play on it, and it's good for platformers. And it's also fucking comfortable.
It's pretty good.
The main flaw with it is... Okay, this is the last thing before we finish, but why the fuck, Nintendo? Why did you not put a second left-hand button on that controller? You got...
R1, R2.
Yeah, you got R1, R2, and L.
See,
That's a great way to end, I think.
Like,
no, okay.
L2!
No,
There's
one more button.
There's Nintendo's gimmick for you in the GameCube era.
You don't need an L2.
You don't games won't need an L2.
all right.
Games
okay,
Media doesn't want
so
L2,
to
but
quickly
it's-
wrap up the Labo.
Labo.
How the fuck are you supposed to pronounce that thing? It's only 4 letters and it's difficult.
Labo.
Labo.
I don't know. That's whatever.
Labo. Imo. Imo is Labo. Say it as if you're about to insult someone of Middle Eastern descent.
Why would I do that?
Because I'm trying to make you feel awkward on camera.
Fair.
So
So wrapping up
but with
the
an A.
Labo conversation.
Is it going to be worth third-party manufacturers coming up with more sturdy versions of the toys?
As far as I know, the templates will be released online via Nintendo, just in case you destroy your version of it. So what you're paying for is the pre-manufactured templates and the game.
So if the Super Robot Wars or whatever the fuck that thing's going to be called ends up being a runaway smash hit and everyone loves it, are people going to make like plastic or metal versions of the backpack?
For sure.
For sure.
Also,
Yeah.
now with the advent of 3D printers, you know how easy that's going to be.
Well, I mean, that involves you having to own a 3D.
Oop, there
Oh,
goes.
yeah, okay.
That's
That's a sign for us to get the hell out of here.
I would say it is like I do have access to a 3D printer, and you better believe that I'm going to be spray painting. No, I've already made an A401.
Okay, right. Okay.
We're done.
Okay, let's wrap. Okay, let's wrap up.
Okay. So what's coming up next week?
I'm going to finish Legion. I have to find a new game to play. It's probably going to be SMD.
Fair
That's
enough.
Super Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, no, actually, I've already caught someone with, like, I'm going to SMD. I'm a girl, you can't suck my dick. I meant the game!
That's the danger of exclusively referring to games by their acronyms, which is a thing that you appear to do.
It's
Pokemon, Weird Smiley Face, Scales of Darkness.
I still have to get my hands on that.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I'll be trying to track down a certain special peripheral for you.
Okay.
I think you will...
Diddy Kong Bongos?
No,
We
no.
already have those.
This is
But for me.
something I feel like you'll truly appreciate. And it's not... No, it's like a genuine appreciation. It's not like me getting the res vibrator for Carl type thing.
The PS1 light gun? Anyway, what about you, Carl?
I don't know. I'm going to continue to play WoW, and I need to.
Doesn't sound like you.
I know, right? I need to actually try and make some progress on all the single player games that I've said that I'll play.
The single players.
And
the single players.
and stop getting distracted by mods and stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Fair enough. As for me, if I actually get time to play games, it'd probably still be Grand Theft Auto. I'm aiming for 100% completion, aiming for that PS4 Platinum trophy.
Dope.
So we'll get there.
Did you 100% on the PS3 as well?
No, I don't think I got that far because I think my PS3 died before I got a chance.
You got to go back and 100% on the PS3 as well.
I don't think the PS3 has achievements, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Therefore, I don't care.
No, I'm pretty sure the PS3 has achievements. The Grand Theft Auto San Andreas release does not have achievements. I'm pretty sure.
So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed like the hour and 20 minutes of absolute drivel just pouring out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I tried my hardest. I have no regrets.
Okay.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Join us on Discord. Did I miss?
All those links are in the description.
SoundCloud, if you're listening there, shout out to my SoundCloud boys. If you're listening to on iTunes, fuck you, Adam. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah, if you want to, and if you want us to talk about something on the podcast, please leave a message on one
Any
of the
of your
locations.
respective channels, we will see.
Probably if you really want us to read it, probably comment on YouTube or in Discord.
Hashtag butts.
See ya.
Huh.